D-Mace, Vingen, and Donick coming your way on this Thursday afternoon. Willie Donick and Derek Mason here with you. David James behind the glass. Adam Vingen has today off. And so we welcome you into the show. We've got a lot planned for you today. We're going to hit a little bit of everything. We've got our eyes on Team USA right now, who is in action in the Winter Olympics. The hockey squad taking on Latvia. The opener is tied 1-1 after one. U.S. appeared to have taken a 2-1 lead, wiped away from goalie interference, a close call, but the Latvians got the call. So it is 1-1, end of the first. Earlier, and I mean way early for us, Roman Josi and Team Swiss got the win in their opening game over France, 4-0. The Predators captain had an assist, and so Switzerland rolled in that one. And Team Canada got a convincing win over Czechia in the mid-morning game, which was I thought the Czechs played a really good first period. Canada scored right at the end of the first and then took it to another gear in the second period, one going away. Jordan Binnington, who was certainly a controversial pick to start game one, played well, and they got the dub. So Canada a winner, Swiss a winner. Team USA in progress right now. We'll certainly keep an eye on that one. D-Mace, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Where does Latvia rank in regards to all of these teams?
They are, I would say, a scrappy, overachieving squad who can cause trouble, but certainly an underdog, a big underdog. They've only got a handful of NHL players.
Okay.
Yeah. They got a great fan base. They have great national pride, and they are known for being pesky, I would say.
So what happens if the U.S. wins? Or what happens if they, either way.
What you want to do is you want to win your group. You've got a pool of 4 teams. Is it 3 times 4? I think is what you have. The winner of the pool gets a bye in the quarterfinals. The other 3 teams get thrown into a pool and play for the other spots in the tournament. So you could lose. You could have a bad game and lose this game and still have a way to get back into the medal round. You're going to have to go the long way. So you certainly don't want to lose. You want to gain the bye. The women's team rolled through theirs.
Yeah, they
beat Canada
out yesterday.
So they've got the bye.
Yeah.
So they're in good shape. That's what the USA will want to do. They outshot Latvia 15-9 in the first period. They're the better team, but again, it's hockey. It's if your goalie plays great and you get a couple of breaks, a couple of bounces, you could have a very interesting afternoon here. But we'll keep an eye on it.
Now, was that the right call made? The goalie interference?
I was seeing a lot. I was on the way over here when it happened, so I was seeing a lot of texts and commentary on it. I've only seen it a couple times. It was subtle, but I think it was the right call.
Okay.
I think it was the right call.
Okay.
But that was just at first glance.
As long as it was the right call. Okay.
Okay. Do we have a Mason minute to get
this
thing going?
I just gotta let me get you. You want to get your stop clock, Willie? I can get mine. It don't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Let me see. I'm gonna get my stop clock, and maybe this hits some people. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I am an avid watcher. Let me start. Okay, I am an avid watcher of love sort of like Love is Blind, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
we've had this discussion.
Yeah, so I love, especially Love is Blind. That's my jam right there. Love is Blind is my jam. Also, my girlfriend, so we watch it together. So yesterday was the new installment of Love is Blind. And the intro, and I'm excited. And the intro is going. And it's going. And it's going. And it's pretty much telling me what is going to happen. And I'm like, why are you spoiling it for me? Don't give so much away. And they gave pretty much the whole thing away. Now I'm watching it with a little skepticism. Like, come on, you can't do that to your viewers. Leave them in suspense. And you know what? Love is Blind producers, y'all didn't leave at least me in suspense, because now I know who's gonna pretty much be at the altar with who, and you messed everything up. So next time you do it, please don't give away so much at the beginning. I'ma still watch it, but don't give away so much. That's the end of my Mason in your face. Facing. No, just Mason in your face. That was over a minute, people. I'm sorry.
That
Like
was
I
okay.
Said,
you know why?
It may hit some people that love is Blind. It may hit some. It may not.
I don't watch the show, but I can appreciate the art form of the trailers, the tease.
Yes.
You've got to make sure you get it right.
And
these are the jobs. Like I was talking about Coach Snoop. I would love that job. That is a great gig. I feel like the movie trailer would be a fun job. Your job is to tease the movie without giving it away.
Tantalizing.
But you got to do the job.
Exactly. Don't give so much away. I don't want to walk away from a trailer and say, well, I pretty much know the whole movie. There's no suspense. So as I'm watching it, I know what's going to happen. And Love is Blind, you dropped the ball on this one.
Okay. So
really
gave away too much. Revealed too much.
Gave away too much. And there are some people that may not think. Or they're like, hey, listen, it don't matter. I'm still going to watch it. I sort of fall in that group, but I would have liked to have not known, the sort of end and got glimpses of the end. Y'all did me all wrong.
Ugh.
So
what a bummer. Now,
but that was just my rant for today.
Speaking of bummers, there was an interesting story that Adam fed our way about the issue of personal hygiene. Have you ever seen this? I did not know about this.
Not until today.
I think we all agree that personal hygiene is important when you're out in
pretty
public.
important.
This is something we've never seen, though. This happens up in Canada. Oshawa Generals fans, this is a Canadian junior team, being asked to shower before the next puck drop. Here's why. So, this is a story. They're not a very good team. This is up in Ontario. They're last place. Okay, they're not a great team, but you still have to have some standards, I think, for your fans. So they were getting some complaints. The Jason Hickman is the longtime director of ticket sales and service for the Oshawa Generals, and this could, you could fill in the sport, fill in the level. But it's a professional operation.
Exactly.
So he's getting all these complaints from fans. Hey, the so-and-so next to me smells bad. He got BO.
Oh, my goodness.
Or, he smells like this. I mean, they were getting so specific here. Cat pee came up.
Yes. Bad breath.
Bad breath came up. Oh.
How can you smell like cat pee and bad breath?
I don't know. Let's hope that combination just doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, that is not... And y'all are grown enough to know that when you leave or when you go into, you can smell yourself, right? You should be able to smell yourself.
You should.
But I guess they're sort of following the pattern of their play.
That's the only thing that they complain of.
Exactly.
So he felt like he needed to do something. So he didn't want to single anybody out. So he put out a memo to all of the ticket holders. He put it out there in the public. And so here. Can you imagine writing this? Here's how it reads. Hello, Gens Nation, as in generals. We're thrilled to have you with us each and every game and appreciate the energy you bring to the arena. To help ensure a clean, comfortable, and enjoyable experience for everyone, we kindly ask your cooperation with a few simple hygiene practices. Please make use of the hand sanitizing stations located throughout the arena. Cover coughs and sneezes, and be mindful of personal cleanliness while sharing our space with fellow fans. And then a couple of bullet points to emphasize. Yes. If you're feeling unwell, I like how he sort of cloaks the BO issue with just, don't come to the rink sick. He throws it in there. If you're feeling unwell, we encourage you to take care of yourself. Cheer us on from home when possible. If you went to the gym or did something that produced body odor, please shower before attending the game. These small actions make a big difference in keeping our community healthy and our events running smoothly.
Hey, Willie, I don't think.
Thank you for your understanding, your respect, and for being such an important part of our fan family. Enjoy the remainder of the season.
Willie, I don't think I've ever in my life or professional life seen a team put out a memo. Not a memo to their own team, like put it in the locker, like make sure that locker room, because they would do that. Like, hey, listen, make sure the locker room is clean. You know, these guys are not here to work for you. They're here to work with you. Stuff like that to make sure guys were respecting, you know, they ain't here to clean up for you. They ain't your maids and all that other stuff. They're here to, you know, make sure things are right. But you take care of the space that you need to take care of. So I've seen those memos, but I've never seen a memo where an organization put it out to their fan base.
No.
Like, they're basically saying, man,
we got
yo behind stink.
Some of y'all stink.
That's what he basically
You know
said.
who you are.
Exactly. I've never seen. Now, we've said that to our kids, especially when they start to get into sports. It's like,
yeah,
don't you think you should wash what you got? Well, you need to wash it again because it's kind of stinky. So we've been through that. But to actually walk into a building, go out on your playing surface and you're
these are
smelling
adults.
it. Yeah, they're adults, man. Wow. Never heard of this.
This guy who did the interview is great. Quote, they don't want to approach their neighbor. It's awkward for me to approach their neighbor and say, hey, you smell. But having a generic email like we did, all encompassing to all season ticket holders, and they just simply they kind of hopefully look in the mirror and say, you know what, I can do better.
You know what?
Be better.
You know what, people? I'm gonna ask this question, and I want y'all to either text or call in 615-737-1025. Have you ever been anywhere, sporting event, airport, standing in line, where the body odor got so intense that you either walked away or you tapped the person next to you and said something? If you've done that, or if you have walked away, please let us know. I don't want you to tell us where the establishment was. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go that far. But I would like to know, because I've never seen anything like this, ever. Or if you've experienced something where they had to put out a memo at your place of employment or anything, let us know.
Have you ever had to do that? Address an issue that might apply to a small number of your people, but you didn't want to single anybody out, as Hickman is quoted as saying at the end. It's a delicate situation.
Were you guys the stinky guys?
Or were you the ones that were stinking? Either
So
or.
just perform a self-check.
Yeah.
Make sure you take care of your hygiene so you're not that person.
It's just as easy as, you know, lifting up your armpits, smelling. That's how we used to do it back in the day.
Our phone and text line brought to you by WilsonHyundai.com. 615-737-1025. The first texter says, I'm with Derek on this. How can you not smell yourself?
Yeah.
I keep deodorant in my car because I sweat an unusual amount.
See?
I can't believe this is real. See, now that's thinking.
That person knows themselves.
Yeah. Right.
They know themselves. They know they profusely sweat.
If you need deodorant in the car
or sweat,
that's what you got to do.
Then you just put on your deodorant.
You do what you have to do.
Exactly. Maybe have some wet wipes in the car, wipe up under your arms, put some fresh deodorant on, boom, you're ready to go.
Matthew texts in and says, went to the store and almost got knocked out by the smell from some people. I'm not going to ask what store.
Yeah. You don't have to tell us what store.
Few days ago, while out at dinner, another texter says, my 7-year-old daughter smelled someone's wind walking by and said out loud, they smell like a word. 7-year-old said that? Holy cow.
You know it's bad when a 7-year-old said that. When a 7-year-old says that.
Very blunt.
Oh, my goodness.
Scott in Waverly says, when you go to jail, the guards will actually make people shower. Well, yeah, you hope that doesn't get to that.
That you don't have to go to jail.
You don't want to hose anybody off coming into a hockey game. Ricky simply texts dude wipes. Dude wipes?
Yeah,
that a
you got
thing?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
You hadn't heard of dude wipes?
Yeah, dew wipes is
If
just,
they just
for,
wet
like,
coming
it's
from a
like another
workout
way
or
for
something?
yeah, it's for toilets.
Yeah,
It's for toilet
it's
paper.
just like dude wipes are like wet wipes or something, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
For dudes.
Matthew adds, I always use powder, deodorant, and cologne. Can't stand being smelly.
I feel you
That
on that.
sounds like the combo. I was in my, this is another texter. I was in my physics seminar in college when two kids walked in covered in body odor. And I'm not sure what that word is. They sit in the front row. They smelled so bad, I had to get up and change spaces in the lecture hall. And the professor called me out for moving about during his lecture. UNC Asheville. That's tough. So he got in trouble because he was sitting around people with BO.
Yeah, sometimes you can be caught up in the mix, and they think it's you, and you're the lone one that smells good or don't have an odor.
So now we're into the breaking wind here. Another guy says, texts in and says, in a break room at his place of work, small attached room that had vending machines.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting a drink. He says he let fly. Let's just say he let fly. Not 10 seconds later, another employee walked in, and all you hear is, "Oh my God!" That's a tough one.
That's the word.
That's a tough one.
That's the word.
I think we've all been that person.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a slightly different category than showing up with BO.
Oh, man.
All right, so we get the point. All right, we're off to a good start. Great participation, by the way, on this makeshift topic. A little later in this hour, we are going to talk to Paul Kuharsky, and we've got some things to fire at him on the coming attractions of the Titans offseason with the new coaching staff. Where do they go with free agency? Let's start to lay out what we're looking at the draft. What are they prioritizing? They are also underway in period 2 over in Italy. Latvia versus Team USA in hockey. 1-1 remains the score. USA just got a penalty kill to start the second period after Jake Gensel was called for a hook. All right, when we come back, we'll get things going as well. We've got the next topic. We're going to start off with talking about some free agency and one specific guy. There's an article that hit, and somebody thinks that there's a really good fit at wide receiver for the Titans on the free agent market. We will discuss here in just a moment. Stay tuned. We're coming back here on DVD. We're back here on DVD. Who knew that personal hygiene would become such a big part of our show today? But thanks to an article that Adam dug up, it got us going on a team in the OHL, Canadian Junior League, that asks their fans to shower and take care of their personal hygiene before coming to the next game. A couple of other notes on our text line before we get to some football talk here. And Paul Kuharsky will join us in the next segment from paulkuharsky.com. Still 1-1, U.S. and Latvia. Canada and Switzerland both won earlier today, and they play each other tomorrow. So Roman Josi and his Swiss team with Nino Niederreiter and those guys, they will take on Team Canada tomorrow. And so right now we are watching Latvia and the USA. On our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, had an older guy following me around the gym, and the guy smelled like something died. Gave him a stick of deodorant and said, "I know you can smell yourself."
Wow. Wow. That was bold. That's bold. I appreciate it too.
Yeah.
I really do.
And then another guy said he discreetly had to get up from a plane and ask if he could move, and he got an upgrade. It worked.
Okay.
A long flight, he said. The guy was leaning into him. He said, it smelled terrible. Oh, well. All right, we got one caller on this, too, and then we're going to talk about a free agent, perhaps landing spot for the Tennessee Titans. They do have some money to spend should they choose to shop. Is it Avo? Avo in Nashville. Welcome into DVD.
What's up, guys? First and foremost, I want to say I love the show, man. You guys are absolutely great. Listen to you guys on the daily. But yeah, man, to touch on that hygiene, man, one day I was in the gym. I ain't gonna say what ethnicity it was or where this guy was from. I was benching about 305, hitting my max, needed a spotter. Dude came, and I'm talking about he smelled like death.
Oh, no.
And when I say I was fighting for my life, putting that barbell up on that spot, I was fighting for my life, holding my breath, man. So hygiene, you get to a certain age, man, I think it's recommended for everybody at that age. And also touching on the free agency with the receivers, I'm not a big fan of Alec Pierce. I hope y'all don't say Alec Pierce from Indy. Please don't say that.
Oh, well.
Hey,
we're sorry, Avo.
Wait, no. Just, you got to continue to listen. We'll let you know whether it's going to be Alec Pierce.
Yeah, we may or may not talk about it. We don't know.
It could be any one of these guys.
Well, I mean, he can listen to the argument and decide he's right. But, Avo, we appreciate the story. I appreciate that. You're doing a max event. You don't need a distraction like that.
So he
takes everything you got.
300?
300.
So that was really about 350.
You had to
really
wait
about
the
yeah,
staying.
the funk was like another 50 pounds, but I digress.
Good.
Yeah, so what we got, Willie?
Brock Nelson just scored for Team USA.
Okay, they're up 2-1.
Up 2-1. So Brock Nelson now of the Colorado Avalanche. Big goal. So the U.S. leads for the second time. But, yes, it is Alec Pierce. Here is an interesting take on why Alec Pierce could be a fit for the Titans. This particular angle is from Pro Football Focus. Okay, NFL free agency, top landing spots for the 5 best wide receivers. Of course, one of the big keys is George Pickens, who the people out there who are covering this believe that he will be tagged and then maybe eligible to be traded. So if you want George Pickens, you got to come to the table with compensation probably, and then you've got to sign him to the next big deal. I don't think the Titans are in that boat right now. Would you agree?
Yeah, they're not in that boat
It's not time to be trading, so they're not one player away. So that brings us to Pierce, who overall in the Pro Football Focus rankings is the 10th best free agent out there now. He is projected to command contract offers in the range of $24 million annually. Does that sound palatable to you?
Yeah, considering, the market and, what he has done, I think that's about, that's fair.
Okay. That figure alone could price out numerous teams who are strapped for cash. In my previous evaluation, and this is the guy that's doing that, his name is Mason Cameron. He said the best landing spot would be the Giants, but given their need, their cap space is an issue there. The Giants may be unable to field a competitive offer. So the team that he thinks is the best fit is the Titans. And here's why. With Brian Daboll serving as the Titans' new offensive coordinator, the fit for Pierce is strong. Prior to being relieved of his duties as the Giants head coach, Daboll helped New York lead the NFL in percentage of passes targeted 20-plus yards downfield. And what do we know about Pierce?
Mm-hmm.
He is a huge yards per catch guy.
Mm-hmm.
Pierce is a threat to take the top off of any defense, having tied for the third most deep receptions over the past 2 seasons. So that's 24. So he has 24 receptions of 20-plus yards downfield. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, though, a guy that, as we pointed out last week, gets 120, 130 targets. It's a little less than that. He's not a high-volume guy. He's a high yards per catch guy. Do you think that's a fit? I was not aware of that trend from Daboll.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you rethink it a little bit? Because on the surface, I was not thinking it's a good match.
A good match. I think the Titans do need a explosive receiver. I think they do need a bona fide deep threat. Now, whether Alec Pierce is a bona fide number one, that is yet to be determined. But his ability, or the numbers state that his ability or his strength is getting down the field and stretching the field. And so the Titans do need an individual like that, especially if they may choose to part ways with Calvin Ridley, because Calvin Ridley, when he's healthy, he's their deep threat guy. But he spent more time, not playing because of injuries, especially this season, than playing. So they sort of lose that ability to get down the field when Calvin Ridley's not there. Alec Pierce would be a guy that's younger, more of an upside, I think, and gives you the ability to stretch the field. But now, here's where it's tricky with certain free agent wide receivers, especially if they hadn't, because he may be their deep threat, but I'm not sure if he's their like true number one receiver.
Yeah, because I look at Michael Pittman as a guy that
I think
I've always considered him.
Yes.
I may be wrong, but I've considered him their number one,
yes,
and Pierce more of their number two.
Exactly.
So Pierce would get more attention on this particular Titans roster if they don't draft a guy at 4, which I would think if you would go for Pierce, you would then use the 4th overall pick on something else.
Exactly. But Pierce sort of fall in the mode of, is he better, like flat out better than Calvin Ridley? I'm not sure how much better he is. He's just different, but I'm not sure how much better he is. Now, he's younger, I believe, and doesn't have the injury history that Calvin does. But I'm not sure if he's like this immediate upgrade from Calvin Ridley, because we've seen this before.
Alec Pierce is 25.
Yeah, so he's what?
Right now.
He's 4 years younger than...
That's a young age to be a free agent.
Exactly. So...
which also has you wondering, why would the Colts let him become a free agent?
Because they got Pittman, and they may not let him. They may let him test the market, and they may choose to bring him back. We don't know. But he sort of falls in this. You remember Mike Wallace? And I like Mike Wallace when he was with Pittsburgh, and then he went to Miami and Baltimore, and I liked him in Baltimore. Did not pay. I think he had a good sort of stint with Miami, and he had a good one with Baltimore, and it started to go down. It started to decline after, I think, the first year there, or first or second year there. But he was a guy that wasn't the number one, but he was the deep threat. And then when he had to be a number 2, he was a good player, but he never excelled at being the number 1. He was never a true number 1. He was a good player, sort of like Gabe Davis. Same thing.
Yes.
When you play on the side of Stephon Diggs, Drew Bennett, absolutely. So when you play on the side of guys that are number 1, you're going to put up good numbers, or really good numbers. But then when you have to ultimately be the number 1, that's when you find out what you're really getting. I'm not saying that Alec Pierce wouldn't be a good player here. What I'm saying is that if you pay him 28, 29 million, he has to be your number one guy.
And it
you
doesn't
treat him
always
like
fit.
that.
It's
Exactly.
hard to be the same guy he's been and get paid more and not have some noise of that.
Exactly.
Right?
Because,
hey, we paid all this money for this guy. He's doing okay, but he's not, like he's going to be the same player.
Yes.
He has to fit with what you're doing. And if he's getting paid more, I wouldn't expect him to play better because you're paying him more. Now, let me ask you this. This is one take on our text line from Neil. Pierce has done nothing in the league. That's why you don't pay a guy $25 million unless he's catching 100 balls a year. And like we said, he's a lower volume, higher yards per catch guy. Now, let me contrast it with a guy that could be out there that you love, but he's getting up there in age. He's 33. Mike Evans. If it's Pierce or Evans at this stage of the game, would you be interested in Mike Evans? Because I know you have the utmost respect for him.
Yes, I just not right now. Yeah, I think that window
not here,
has
not
passed.
now.
Yeah, because he's dealt with injuries. After they signed him to a contract, he's dealt with injuries. This is the first year he didn't have 1,000 yards because he missed too many games. This is a guy that has always sort of dealt with the knee injuries or something, but he's managed to play through them. But now you're getting another year older, wear and tear, and you were injured this season. As much as I like now, if you're talking about bringing him in as being a 3 or 2 or 3, then yeah, possibly a 2, yes, a 3. But I think he's at a point in his career where he may give you some, like a burst here and there, but I'm not sure if he's at that level. He's going to be consistently dominating
week in, week out at this stage. All right, when we come back, we'll talk to Paul Kuharsky. We'll fire this at him, as well as a lot of other Titans offseason questions. It's still USA 2, Latvia 1 over in Italy, 4.5 minutes to go in the second period. And they've just gotten some really good scoring chances here. The Latvian goalie, Elvis Merzlikins. Yes, his name is Elvis. He plays for Latvia.
What?
Yeah, Elvis Merzlikins. The Latvians have crazy names. You got to get used to it. He's made some really good saves to keep it 2-1. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more here on DVD. And let me tell you that we are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service.
Hey, this is Derek Mason. And if you've injured yourself in a motorcycle accident, go to lawtigers.com for your free case evaluation. Even if your accident was months ago, you have nothing to lose by calling Law Tigers. Insurance companies want to pay out as little as possible, or frankly, nothing at all. But Law Tigers fights to get you the compensation you deserve, and they don't get paid until your case has been settled. Look, they understand how much your bike gear is worth to you and what it means to you. So they want to help you get it all repaired, or better yet, replaced. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is powered by Freeman and Fuson, and you can find them in Nashville, located at 2126 21st Ave South. Also, do not forget, go to predatorsbike.com to enter to win a custom Nashville Predator Indian motorcycle signed by the entire team, courtesy of Law Tigers in Music City, Indiana. That's Law Tigers, Tennessee's motorcycle lawyers.
I figured this must have been requested by our next guest here. He is a big Bruce Springsteen fan. And speaking of the USA, Tage Thompson power play goal for Team USA, and they have lengthened their lead to 3-1 over Latvia late in the second period. So USA taking control. They've outshot the Latvians now 30-11. It was 1-1 at the end of the first. So good second period from the Americans. All right, let's bring in on our call and text line brought to you by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Paul Kuharsky joins us from Kuharsky.com. Paul, what's going on?
Not much, guys. Good to be with you. I don't even have to request that.
Yeah,
the producers just know me.
I was going to say, did you request the specific song, or was it just places? He just knows Play Springsteen.
He just knows Play Springsteen, okay. I think.
Would you have, if there was a particular song, would you have gone with that one, or?
I mean, that's fine in the rotation.
Okay.
I'd go a little deeper, but that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, you can get out on the fringes. Okay, one more non-football question before we get to the stuff here.
Sure.
Would baseball be better with a salary cap? You being a Yankees fan, me being a Mets fan, our teams have an advantage with the current system. Would the game be better with better competitive balance? Because it's coming in about a year.
Well, probably be better. And hell, I mean, my team should be doing far better than it is with the economic advantage that it has, and it hasn't meant anything. So, take away our economic advantage and make us find some young players and balance things out better. I mean, for the good of the sport, I don't see how they don't head that direction. And I think people have been slow to resent the Dodgers for what the Dodgers are doing. And I'm ready for plenty of it after the Yankees took grief for it forever. I mean, my God, it's been 15 years and they really don't do anything on a regular basis, and they still get grief for their spending when it produces nothing for them. People should applaud that the Yankees are such wasteful spenders, and that George Steinbrenner's kids are such pathetic followers of his credos. And let's all go get the Dodgers and make them stop doing what they're doing.
So this is preview of coming attractions, because next year this will be a thing for sure. So, Paul, let's look at the Titans now as they draw up their plan with their new coaching staff, the fit, all of that. Let's start with something that D. Mace and I just sort of tackled, the free agent wide receiver market. They clearly need a first wide receiver. They could opt to use their first draft pick on that, or they could look at the free agents available. Which way would you lean when you prioritize?
Well, I want one of each. I need a good, solid free agent guy, and I want a high draft pick. I don't think the guys at the top of the draft are as complete. I don't see a candidate at 4 that strikes me as a fully complete wide receiver. I don't see a Jackson Smith and Jigba there, unfortunately. I think it's a bad draft generally for the Titans. I think there's nice depth at the 3 positions I want the Titans to come away with big help at edge, at receiver, and at corner. But I don't know that there's somebody at 4 that comes in and automatically, I don't think you take a corner there. And I don't think there's an edge or a receiver there that is automatically a bingo there. Reese is a guy in transition. Bain has some shortcomings. Tate, I don't think is complete. I want Alec Pierce ideally, or one of Dobbs, Jennings, or it sounds like Pittman could come free as Indianapolis tries to preserve Pierce. And then maybe Wan'Dale Robinson is in there because of Daboll's relationship with him. If you gave me one of those guys as a veteran addition to the group, in addition to a first or second rounder, I think you round out the group pretty well. And I say that not knowing I don't think they've determined what they're doing with Calvin Ridley yet.
And that was going to be my question, Ball, because as you look at it, and I don't want the Titans to fall into this, because I mentioned 2 guys that I thought once they left their team, at least one of Mike Wallace, he had a good career after he left Pittsburgh, but it never was, I think, what the team expected, because they paid him as a true number one, and he really
Right.
wasn't. And then you look at Gage from Buffalo. They wanted him to be a little bit more than what he was, and he never could manage to do that. That's what I like Alec Pierce, but I think if you pay him upwards of 28, 29, 30 million, he automatically becomes your number one. But is he a huge upgrade from Calvin Ridley?
Well, I mean, I like his upside more than Calvin
Yes.
Ridley. I agree with you. He's short of being like a absolute number one. Would he be the best receiver on your team? Hopefully, and hopefully then in tandem with whoever your top receiver choice is. I don't know he's getting 30. I just looked at Spotrac. They've got him at like 20. So I think an overpay for him hopefully would be more like 22, 24. With the money they have, they're going to have to overspend at free agency. And the three positions they should be doing it at are wide receiver, edge, and corner.
Now, we had a conversation yesterday, I believe, or the day before yesterday, and we were sort of playing revisionist history with the Titans pick from last year. And what if they would have signed Darnold and traded away that pick? Do you think this team, would have been a little bit further had they went with Darnold, or do you like the sort of path that they're going down now?
Well, look, I mean, Darnold's throwing the Jackson Smith and Jigba. That roster is super talented. That Seattle didn't win the Super Bowl on the strength of Sam Darnold alone by any means. He played very well for them. It was a very nice season, but it's a heck of a landing spot compared to here. And so I have no problem with the Titans having decided not to pursue him. Obviously, to get him would have been more difficult, more attractive landing spot that he had. You're talking probably a tag and trade, and who knows if Minnesota wanted to endure that. There's a lot of machinations to get that done. They weren't compelled to tag and trade him to get him to Seattle. They like Cam Ward a lot. I don't have a problem with a team that's bottoming out, trying to get its own young quarterback or younger, building your program's culture from the very beginning, and trying to go that route. Time's going to tell us more, but I don't think it was a simple like Sam Darnold or Cam Ward decision. And I don't have a problem with the direction they went. I saw a lot of good in Cam Ward this year. Hopefully things settle down for him from a coaching perspective. Hopefully things get better for him for a surrounding talent perspective. And this team is on an upslope, but it's a lot about hope and a lot about executing the plan.
Now, how should they handle the running back room? Because obviously, listen, Pollard is a good player. He's a solid player. But I think you need something a little bit more at that position, especially while your quarterback is still young. You have Tajay Spears still there. But Tajay is, as much as I like him as a player and a person, he gives you a little bit and then he go and hide and then he gives you a little bit more. And he just needs to be more consistent. But they need a number one true back. How do you think they proceed with that? Do they go to free agency or do they keep Pollard?
The free agency pool is pretty nice. I mean, I would think Seattle's going to keep Kenneth Walker. He obviously did some great things for them there. But he could get there. You don't know how Saleh feels about Breece Hall. But there's some other good backs coming free. That's a pretty good pool of veteran running backs. And the way they picked Pollard 2 years ago, they could save $7 million with Pollard, put that $7 million towards another running back that they'd look at and say, we could get 2-3 years out of this guy, and then be in position maybe to draft, somebody high the way they did with Eddie, with Chris, with Derek. And so that would be the route that I would go. Look, I love watching Tajay Spears work in space, but how often are you going to get him in space? Your number two running back has to be able to run through between the tackles, and he can't. He doesn't. I've seen enough of that. So I think they got a lot of changes to make there. Pollard, when they block better down the stretch, was a lot better, but his 20-yard runs are 20-yard runs. They're not 40-yard runs. And I think other people can make them 40-yard runs, and I think they need 40-yard runs.
I agree. I would like to see an upgrade there. We're talking with Paul Kuharsky, paulkuharsky.com. So, Paul, we're trying to compile the short list here of names to really keep our eye on going forward here for the draft. So let's presume that Mendoza is one of the picks before the Titans pick at 4. Who would be your 3 that you would prioritize?
Well, I think Reese, Bain, and Bailey probably. But the trouble with Reese is that he's changing position again. You know, he could be a great edge/end. If he's not, he'd be a great linebacker for you, but that's not a position you'd put that kind of priority on. And you've already, you don't want to put too much into sunken costs, but you already got Femi Oladejo making that transition. So you want your 2 primary edge guys to be guys that don't have a ton of experience working as outside pass rushers. That's a little bit of a difficult situation to me. Bain's a hell of a pass rusher, super productive. The short arms are a concern, and they'd like to put that guy outside in a 7 or even a 9. Bain could rush from a 7, but he's not a 9 to get all the way out there. The speed rusher in Robert Saleh's system is a D Ford type, or Nick Bosa's been there. Could Bain be that? Yeah, but you're not going to put him super wide. Bailey is most suited for that, but he's not got a fully rounded game, and you question what he could do in the run game from the start, certainly. So there's a deficiency in each of them where you're not picking an end there at 4 who comes in and unquestionably is a day 1 help on your pass rush, or even a week 8 help on your pass rush for sure. And that's the thing that makes you think, well, maybe they need to go somewhere else. But I don't love the receivers. I think it's too high for a corner. To me, a trade down is the best way to go. At this point, I'd say, get yourself to 8 or 10, and then Bailey seems a lot more reasonable to me. But, I'm not as knee deep in the draft as a lot of other people, and I'll learn a lot more at the combine.
How would you approach Will Levis / backup quarterback going forward?
Yeah, I don't know. People are far too anxious to get rid of Will Levis.
I agree.
I mean, there are, I think on Robbie and Rex Road, we ran through it, and we found like 2 preferable veteran quarterbacks, Garoppolo and I can't remember the other one.
Kirk Cousins?
But I mean, Kirk Cousins, I think, is going to find better a place where he's got a chance to play. I mean, nobody's playing ahead of Cam Ward unless Cam Ward gets hurt. One of the guys who's been through New York recently, I'm going to completely blank.
Jameis Winston?
No,
he's still under contract.
Russell
Wilson? Not Russell Wilson either. But, Will Levis, to me, outside of the premier couple of backup guys, San Francisco's got a great situation with Mac Jones. Outside of a couple teams that have that situation, you've got a crappy veteran who's probably not going to do great. And so why not have a young guy that potentially has some upside? And that's Will Levis. And for all these people that want to trade him, then who's your backup quarterback? I mean, the pool of backup quarterbacks is horrifically bad.
Yeah.
And so I say, and people are worried about his temperament and all of that. You sit him down and you say, look, you've got no leverage here to force your way out. We want you to come in, play your best football. Maybe you'll get some time if something goes wrong with Cam, maybe not, but put in a good year for us. Be reliable, be steady, and then we'll do everything we can for you after that to get you into a good situation. But you didn't exactly help us out with the timing of your shoulder surgery. We're certainly not going to help you out by shipping you out now.
Isn't it sort of remarkable that the Titans back in the day, and we brought this up with Derek yesterday, that they were able to find guys like Dave Craig, Neil O'Donnell, and eventually Kerry Collins just sitting out there as backups? Like, it's harder to find that guy now.
Yeah, and don't leave out Ryan Tannehill, which, I mean, they brought him in knowing that they probably were going to need a starter, and made a pretty fantastic deal for him and one of John Robinson's better moves. to transition to a guy who ranks as the second best quarterback in their Tennessee history. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe there were a few more guys that were willing, but O'Donnell was terrific and sustained them for a good while. And some of those guys, and now you're right. I mean, you look at guys who did Tim Boyle in camp. I was having fits that he was even in camp because he was so atrocious. And Brandon Allen is a nice guy to have around, but you can't get him in a game. You can't have him in a game. So I just don't understand why. Titans fans do this habitually. As soon as you have any kind of depth anywhere or potential depth, they want to get rid of it.
Paul, thanks for the insights today. Always good to catch up with you, and we will talk to you again down the road.
Good to be with you, boys. Take care.
All right, good stuff. PaulKuharsky.com. I'll select the Bruce Springsteen song next time. I like The Boss. I can't go as deep on the playlist as Paul can, but I can appreciate The Boss.
Oh,
all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, when we come back, we've got more to discuss. We'll give you an update on USA and Latvia, who are in the second intermission right now. Team USA, a very, very good second period. And tonight, the place to be is Memorial Gym and on 94.9 The Fan. It's your home for Vanderbilt women's basketball, number 5 in the country. And tonight, they take on number 4 Texas. They have already taken care of Oklahoma this week. Now the Longhorns come to town. 6:30 start. Pre-game at 6:15. That is good stuff. Big game tonight. Good luck to the Doors. So 94.9 The Fan is your home for Vanderbilt women's basketball. We're back with hour number 2 next. All right, let's bring you up to speed with F&M Bank. Banking made easy on purpose. Yes, you want to have that good contact as the banker. Somebody that if you've got a big question, they get back to you fast. You know exactly who you're talking to. That is what F&M Bank tries to do. F&M Bank's motto is banking made easy on purpose. They want to take the burden off of your shoulders when it comes to your finances. It's complicated enough, not just with your money, but with your whole lifestyle. So let F&M Bank use their customer service. That's their strength. They've got 20 locations in our listening area. Just find the one that's closest to you. Your business means more to them. myfmbank.com is the website. That's myfmbank.com. And tell them we sent you because, of course, they sponsor the Take It to the Bank segment every Friday at 5:45. Our next installment is coming up tomorrow, the post-Super Bowl installment. And I didn't have a great week, but I think I was just trying to let everybody else back in the competition by being really bad. But
keep telling yourself that.
I'll tell myself that. And tune in tomorrow at 5:45. It's always brought to you by F&M Bank. Great relationship. We appreciate their sponsorship. Banking made easy on purpose. It's myfmbank.com. Member FDIC. Hour number 2 of DVD. Willie Donick, Derek Mason here with you today. Adam Vingan has the day off, so no V. He'll be back tomorrow. We welcome him. David James is behind the glass. They are underway in the third period over in Italy for the Winter Olympics. Team USA on the hockey front has opened up a 4-1 lead over Latvia. It was 1-1 after one, a dominant second period by the Americans. 2 goals scored in the second period by Brock Nelson of the Colorado Avalanche and one by Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres. So USA in control with Connor Hellebuck between the pipes. Canada shut out Czechia earlier today, 5-0. An impressive performance by them. They took control of things in the second period as well. And Roman Josi and the Swiss team picked up a win over France earlier today. But tomorrow is the big test for Switzerland. They take on the Canadians. They're in the same group. So Olympic tournament underway on the men's side. We are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. So, Derek, let's dive into a couple of things that we hit with Paul Kuharsky that had your attention. So what did you think of his assessment of the wide receiver market?
I thought it was, spot on. He talked about some guys that may not necessarily be number ones, but can come in here and,
be their best receiver,
be productive and be, if not their best receiver, one of their best, because I think after you get past, Pickens and Alec Pierce, I'm trying to figure out who else is on this list. But after you get past those two, people like Deebo Samuel,
well, there's Robinson from the Giants that was with Dable last year. That's more of the slot guy.
Yeah, he's more of a slot guy. So if you're talking about a number one outside guy, then Pickens and Alec Pierce fit more of that, individual that you're looking for, a guy that can stretch the field. The thing about Pickens is he can both stretch the field and he can do all the dirty work in the middle of the field, but he comes with a higher price and a little volatility in him,
and you guys, in theory, if they tag him,
exactly, then you would have to give up. You would have to give up assets. Dallas is just not going to give them away. So that may put you, at least the Titans, that should put him out of the market for someone like Pickens. But then you start talking about these other guys. I think ultimately, they fit.
And you're not a Deebo Samuel guy.
He's not your number one. He wasn't even a number one for the Commanders. So I think his best days are past him. Because of his style of play. He's been extremely beat up, and the Titans need someone that's going to be, an every game player, and shows that he can be that, and guy that's not, up there in age, and Deebo is. So I'm not sure if Deebo fits. If they were like a receiver away, like they just need that number 3 or that, then yes, he would probably be a guy. But Mike Evans sort of fall in that same 2-3 at this juncture of his career.
All right. While we're just shopping around, we're not committing anything. We're just walking around the store, looking around what might become available. What if the Dolphins release Tyreek Hill, which is very possible? He's got a big cap number. He's getting up there in age, more trouble staying healthy.
He has.
Would you take a look at him at all?
Yes,
too crazy.
There are too many things swirling around him, and he's coming off of a injury. Will he be productive somewhere? I'm sure he will be. I'm sure he's not going to lose much speed, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to give him the money he wants. Because even if he gets a 1-year deal, he's still going to be looking for a lot of money.
And I'm guessing he would want to go to a team that could win right away. So I don't see a fit there, because I would try, if I'm the Titans, in a perfect world. And it's tough because you got to go with what's out there in the store, right? You might have your idea of what you want, but if it's not in the store, you can't buy it.
No.
But I'd rather have a guy that's not year to year. I would love to sign a guy and hope that I could have him for 2 or 3 years, because that's hopefully the runway for the next really good Titans team, including the new stadium, right?
Yeah,
in the
but
second year.
guys
you want to be good by then.
Yeah, but guys like
Tyreek Hill is a year to year. Mike Evans is a year to year.
Deebo Samuel, year to year. The only guys that are you look at and say, this is 3 years, maybe, is Pickens, is Alec Pierce, and maybe even Jawan Jennings.
That was the other guy I was gonna ask.
But at a different, he would be more so of your slot guy. You're not looking for him you're not bringing him in under big contract. You're not looking for him to be your number one receiver. Now, if he comes in and, he's that guy for your quarterback, then okay, great. But you're not bringing him in for that reason. So there'll be other guys on this list, and there may be guys that end up getting released because of salary cap reasons, and maybe they are able to pick from that group of guys as well. But right now, as we sit, the guys, based upon PFF, it's really only 2 guys that you're really looking at, and that's possibly Jawan Jennings and Alec Pierce. They don't even have Robinson on here, and I know Robinson, he would be another guy that the Titans look at.
So
Wandale Robinson.
And weighing that with using the 4th pick on a receiver, I tend to think that this is what we're going to learn in the next few weeks. How you see it now, because it's always like this. How you see it now is probably not how you're going to see it as these guys get evaluated at the combine, as teams interview guys. The board is going to move a lot. But Paul Kuharsky isn't thrilled with the receivers that will be there at number 4. He sees some flaws there. Do you agree with that assessment? And are you thinking that is more likely to be an edge rusher for the Titans because there's just better options there?
Well, I mean, it all depends on, what happens with the second pick in the draft, because we just assume that the Raiders are going to take Fernando Mendoza. Well, will the second pick be Arvell Reese? Will it be, David Bailey or Reuben Bain? I think they will have their pick of at least one of the 2, at least 2 of the 3 guys should be there. So if they choose to go that route, then great. But listen, I look at Carnell Tate different. And I've watched him for the last 2 years. And even on the side of Jeremiah Smith, this guy has been dynamic. He is, to me, the best receiver coming out this year. He reminds me sort of Pickens. And obviously once he gets to the NFL, he's going to learn even more. But he has the height. He has the speed. He catches at the highest point. His combat catches are just as good as anybody out there in college football. So he's that mix between, Pickens and the kid in Cincinnati. Why am I forgetting his name? Not Chase, but Higgins. Yeah. So he's a mix between those 2. And I think he's a number 1 receiver. Now, the Titans may choose to, because I think this group of receivers, you can find a receiver in the 2nd round this year. So maybe they wait until the 2nd round to get a guy that can help them. But if they're going to take a guy,
you think Tate is the best?
Yeah, I think to me,
the best wide receiver in this draft is Tate.
Yeah, because to me, they did. Ohio State did a good job at putting him he played inside, he played outside, he went in motion, he did things, and so did Jeremiah Smith. That's what made them so difficult to guard. Not only their ability to go out there and just dominate, because you're talking about 2 guys that are physically opposing, but it's like you can work inside, you can work outside, you can do these things that we need you to do, and they did them at a high level, even when they double team, Jeremiah Smith, or they try to double team Carnell. They managed, at least Carnell Tate managed to beat the double teams. He managed to be, not necessarily outshined by Jeremiah Smith. And everybody knows that Jeremiah Smith was the best receiver in the country, hands down. But you didn't look at least me, I didn't look at Carnell Tate and say, he's playing second fiddle. No, this kid could have won it. He can go anywhere and be the number 1 receiver. And that's how I feel about him coming to the NFL. I think he's one of those guys. And I'm just going by Ohio State's pedigree to produce top flight wide receivers have been second to nobody. I think the closest team, LSU, maybe Alabama, those two teams. But Ohio State has been able to produce number one wide receiver.
They have.
And he is no different.
Okay. So would you rather them use the 4th pick on Tate and pass on these wide receivers that are free agents, Pierce, etc.? Or is the better move, take your pick, let's say it's Pierce, and then use the 4th pick on an edge rusher? What's the better way to go?
I think in this situation, I almost believe you should go out and get Alec Pierce, and then you draft a rush in. Or me, I would go outside the box again. I like
Jeremiah Love. Okay,
I just think he can change the game in a way that maybe Bain or Arvell Reese, these guys change it for them on defense. I think Jeremiah Love can do that on offense for the Titans.
All right, when we come back, we are going to switch gears to a degree. There's a great moment, I should say great, a fun moment on the MMQB podcast with Albert Breer and Connor Orr. They were going back through the Super Bowl, but they look ahead, and we'll give you some insight that they have on when Nashville is going to host a Super Bowl with the new stadium. They'll give you their timeline, but they also end up giving a really interesting outside assessment of our city, and it'll probably make you laugh a little bit. So we're going to play that. We're going to have some fun with it, and it has to do with hot chicken. Earlier, we were talking about personal hygiene. The next segment, it's going to revolve around what you think of hot chicken. And so just stay tuned. You're going to like what you hear. So as we go to the break, let me tell you about something that's coming up a week from tonight. Stars Trivia Night at Boom Baz in East Nashville, February the 19th. 1 week from tonight, it'll be a night full of fun, food, and prizes. Great prizes that we always donate here at 102.5 The Game, all while supporting Stars Nashville, a nonprofit providing free mental health support for students in over 200 schools across Middle Tennessee. You've heard me talking about Stars for a long time. Derek has been a part of it for a long time. And so for more details on how to register, just visit thegamenashville.com/events. I'll be hosting that night. Get your team of 4. Basically, it's $100. It all goes to Stars. You get a free appetizer, and I'm guaranteeing fun. It's going to be fun, and there will be sports trivia. I know this is a sports station. When you go to trivia night and there's no sports questions, believe me, I know it's a bummer. There's going to be some sports questions there. So get your team, go to thegamenashville.com/events, and sign up for Stars Trivia Night at Boom Baz next Thursday. Low mortgage rates are back. Loan Pronto wants you to know that they have fixed rate mortgages with APR as low as 4.89%, the lowest in years. So if you're stuck in a 6% loan, you could drop your payment big time with a simple refinance. And Loan Pronto streamlined, they can get you done quick. Or you can keep your first mortgage in place, get cash out of your home's equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Both are great options depending on what your needs are, and you can improve your financial situation. Call and see what option works best for you. But don't miss this rate drop of 2026. Ask about the new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or the Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in as little as 2 weeks, maybe even skip the next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for a free instant home appraisal. No hard credit pull. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, APR for well-qualified buyers. MLSconsumeraccess.org.
That city has grown faster than its infrastructure has.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt.
So they don't have the highway, like the highways, there aren't enough of them, for the amount of people that live there. So, like, I just think if you're like how your experience in Nashville when the Super Bowl is there, which I assume, what we know right now is it's going to go LA, Atlanta. My guess would be Vegas is the next after that, and then maybe Nashville the year after that. I would just say, like, your experience in Nashville is going to be based heavily on where you're staying and if you can walk, because and Vegas, to be fair, Vegas was that way too,
Sure.
but Nashville it'll be interesting to see if that city has like what that looks like when we get there.
It's funny because like my buddy lives in Nashville, right? And it's like when you're Like you can go to his house, which is in a neighborhood, and it's just like a couple left, rights. Like you don't hop on a highway and then you're just in Nashville. Like you get like Nashville's connected to just like Oakmont Avenue or whatever, right? It's just like a street that attaches to like a development, and then you're downtown, which is very funny. It's not like that anywhere else that I can remember. And hot chicken's overrated. I'm just gonna say it before we spin into this. It just causes digestive upset. That's all it is. It's not a flavor to make your stomach hurt.
I mean, I like it.
That's all I'm going to say.
I like it because I'm a huge fan of fried chicken in general. But I will say, I
like, why are you signing up for that?
I mean, well, this is going to sound like it. This is going to sound offensive to people from there. What's the difference between like a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich and a hot chicken sandwich?
Well, I know what I want to clip for this episode.
And I love Wendy's spicy chicken sandwiches. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, don't get me wrong. That's not an insult on either hot chicken or a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. But, like, can you tell me what the difference is?
Okay. Albert Breer, Connor Orr, MMQB podcast. I was just listening along. I was, intrigued about their latest stuff. I think they have a really good podcast. And Albert Breer noting that the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to know at some point Nashville is going to host the Super Bowl. That is exciting to think about. I haven't really allowed myself to think that far ahead, but it's not that far off.
Yeah.
So I hadn't really heard. Maybe I've been, maybe I haven't paid that close of attention. Maybe there's been other reports to that effect, but basically says not next year, the year after, but
in 3
one
years.
of the next couple years beyond that.
Like a year after they open
3 to
up a
4 years,
stadium.
right? They're going to have the big game
And
in our city.
yeah, I can see them, the year after it opens or 2 years after it opens that, you can have a Super Bowl here in Nashville. But again, it's you got to think about the other things. It's not just the stadium that they're developing over there. There's other things. It's this whole campus. It's going to be mixed use space. There's going to be affordable housing, so they say. But affordable housing downtown is something totally different from affordable housing somewhere else. But they have all these things, and all of that will not be finished when the stadium's done.
Right. It'll be the next layer.
Exactly. It's like the next phase. Now, I'm sure they will get some stuff done as they're doing a stadium, but this thing is going to be done in phases. So, and I'm just trying to be objective here. So I don't want anybody to say, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, okay, would I love to have a Super Bowl here? Yes, absolutely. I would love to have a Super Bowl here. I think it would be, a great thing to have. But, sort of projecting 3-4 years from now, will the city be ready for a Super Bowl?
But
people always say, well,
but
there's a lot of stuff that like the traffic's bad now.
I know, but we have a lot of big events.
But nothing like the Super Bowl. Nothing like the Super Bowl.
Is it that much bigger?
Yes. You know what? You know why it's going to be so much bigger? Because it's Nashville and everybody's going to want to come.
We have the CMA Fest. We have,
but that's nothing like Super Bowl. Nothing like Super Bowl, because there's a certain
so you're
different
saying
grammar.
Our city can't handle the Super Bowl?
I'm saying our city need to be prepared, because the CMAs is nothing like a Super Bowl coming to Nashville. It's not a Super Bowl going to another city, because everybody wants to come to Nashville, and it's like, oh, a Super Bowl is going to be in Nashville. Oh, I can go. I can drive. Like people from up north can make the 8 hour. It's more centrally located for a lot of the people from the north, from the south, east, not necessarily west, but east. So you're getting a lot of people that are going to come. Some people may come just because it's Nashville.
What about the draft compared to the Super Bowl?
It's nothing like the Super Bowl. It's nothing, because again,
like we had all those people.
I know you did.
Jam-packed.
Absolutely. So just think.
It's not going to be that different, is it?
So just think. Times that now. Again, it's Nashville and everybody wants to come. A new stadium. And I hope it's the Titans that playing in it. But if it's not the Titans, say it's, I don't know, the Detroit Lions or the Indianapolis Colts,
whoever
or the Miami Dolphins or the Dallas. So you got these states that are drivable. I don't have to get on the plane and go out west. I can hop in my car, cheap flight, relatively getting in advance.
Right.
But all these people were
we know how to do these things. I'm not worried at all.
Listen, we had a hard time with the grid, okay, Willie?
We did have a hard time with the grid.
Yes, but again, listen, I'm not saying they just need to be well equipped for it, because what we think, just add more to that, because it's the city of Nashville and everybody. That's a good thing that everybody wants to come, but you have to be prepared.
I thought it was interesting there.
You better get some more
of the traffic,
some alcohol on Broadway. You better get some
stock
more
up.
alcohol.
Yeah,
exactly.
stock up. But look, the draft had a ton of people. We have a lot of events that bring a lot of people here.
How many did the draft? What was that? Because they gave a number. How many people attended the draft? If we can see, that's some Adam.
It's on there. I know Adam's faster at finding that stuff. It's out there. Maybe David can find it. We're missing you, Adam. But I'm not worried about that. The traffic is bad. Mm-hmm. Their perspective, though, is when you're covering the Super Bowl, and I have been there. I did it when they were in Houston. Darren McFarland and I were driving all over the city of Houston. That was fun. But the team set up
over
headquarters.
600,000 were at the Titans draft or the national draft in 2019.
600,000. Gosh, that's even bigger than I remembered. But you have to drive one day to Team A, which might be in Brentwood, and then Team B might be over in, I don't know, Hendersonville or something, wherever they set up for the practices. And traffic can be troublesome in our city for sure. But I don't think that's going to be a problem at all for hosting the Super Bowl. It's a problem all the time for all of us that live in the city anyway. Like, it's just.
But again,
it's true what they said about our infrastructure. We're way behind on the public transportation and all that.
And that's what it's going to be, like shuffling people from here and there. And, all the hotels in the city are going to be bought up. Then you have to go outside the city, which you do in every city. I get it. But the transportation is a little bit different in those cities. They probably, it runs a little bit more fluent. Here, we don't have sort of that, ability to potentially, if you're talking 600,000, I think it's going to be more than that if you bring the Super Bowl here. Again, people want to come to Nashville, and they're going to find every reason to come to Nashville.
I agree. We're going to have a ton of people. It's not a problem. We're going to be fine. Now, what did you think of what they said about the hot chicken? The Wendy's spicy chicken?
Listen, I don't want to ruffle any feathers here. I don't.
I am not like Mr. Hot Chicken. I like it. I'm not I also don't remember when hot chicken just became a Nashville hot chicken thing. I've been here the whole time. Mm-hmm. I know when I was in school.
Yeah, it was. Was it a big thing then?
No, not at all. So I've been here since it became a big thing. And I've had plenty of hot chicken. It's good. I'm not like seeking it out all the time. Mm-hmm. But the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Man, he
what?
Hey,
that's Wendy's tear up your insides.
Wendy's.
We got to teach these guys. We've
had
each of these guys on the show before. We got to have them on again and have
that spicy chicken does tear your stomach up, no matter what, whether Wendy's or somewhere else.
But also like,
it's in a good way
level
if it's done right, right?
If you get the mild, you're gonna be fine. If you get the super hot, then your stomach's gonna be a little.
You deserve it if you get super hot.
Okay, how do we feel about the super hot? What is the upside of the super hot? I'm not a super hot guy.
It's like, again,
with wings or anything like that.
Whenever I'm at the Vandy games, like whenever they do bring Hattie B's, it's awesome. I'm very thankful. But sometimes when I do get the super hot, I'm just like, oh boy,
you can't enjoy it.
I can't. Like I sweat, and it's just like I enjoy it.
So what's that?
But like also at the same time, it's like, why do I put myself through that?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, again, I know this city will get a Super Bowl. I believe it will be I think they will put on a good Super Bowl, but I do believe that a lot of people will ascend on Nashville just because it's Nashville and they want to go. And now you have the Super Bowl, so it's just more people are going to come, I believe. And you got to be ready for it. And, is the city right now? The city may not be ready for it, but will they be ready for it in 5 years? I hope so.
We're going to be ready. I'm not worried about it at all, D-Mace. I'm more concerned about the hot chicken, where they said on their podcast that they're asking the question, what's the difference between a Wendy's spiced chicken sandwich and
Listen,
a Nashville hot chicken sandwich?
Now that I've started eating
There's
meat
got to be a
again,
difference.
hot chicken it is what it is.
I don't know if I've ever had the
consume too
Wendy's
much of
hot.
it. Oh, I've had that back in the day. Yeah, it was good back in the day when I was young, but haven't had it as a true, real adult with family. But no, I wouldn't want to know what's the best hot chicken place out there, because I'm not a huge, like, I don't go out and I want hot chicken. I got to find hot chicken somewhere. If somebody say, hey, I got some hot chicken, okay, let me taste it. I eat it. Where's it from? But I'm not sure
if it tears
what
up your inside, if it quote tears up your insides, it better be a really good sandwich. If you're going to pay the price of that, ideally, I want something I enjoy and it doesn't
tear up your stomach.
Tear up my stomach.
But I mean, again, if it tears up your stomach, you don't like spicy food in general.
Yeah, you can't eat the hot chicken sandwich. You eat Nashville hot chicken sandwich. So
okay. So
I guess Brewer doesn't like hot chicken. He says it's overrated. I didn't say that. He said it. What do y'all think?
Him.
What do y'all think? Is hot chicken overrated? And can we handle a Super Bowl, or do you think we will be able to handle a Super Bowl in 4 years? Because that's what it's gonna be, 4 years, I believe, at least, till we get a Super Bowl.
They need to make a lot of changes.
Do you think this city will be equipped to handle a Super Bowl? And do you think Nashville hot chicken is overrated? 615-737-1025.
Yes. Call
Texas, either
text 615-737-1025. Americans leading Latvia 5-1 going down the stretch of the third period. USA taking care of business. They blew it open in the second period. So solid performance by their hockey squad. So when we come back, we will answer this question and see what the listeners think. Is the hot chicken overrated? What is the best kind of hot chicken? And is there a difference between a good hot chicken sandwich and a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich? Surely the answer is yes. All right, we're coming back with more on DVD.
Hey, this is Derek Mason. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, go to lawtigers.com for your free case evaluation. Even if your accident was months ago, you have nothing to lose by calling Law Tigers. Insurance companies want to pay out as little as possible, or frankly, nothing at all. But Law Tigers fights to get you the compensation you deserve, and they don't get paid until your case has been settled. They understand how much your bike gear is worth to you, so they will help you get it all repaired, or better yet, replaced. So call 1-800-Law Tigers or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is powered by Freeman and Fuson, and you can find them in Nashville, located at 2126 21st Ave South. And don't forget, go to predatorsbike.com to enter to win a custom Nashville Predator Indian motorcycle signed by the entire team, courtesy of Law Tigers in Music City, Indiana. That's Law Tigers, Tennessee's motorcycle lawyers.
Hey, don't forget NASCAR action is on the Game Nashville Sports Network all season. Starting at 6 o'clock tonight, catch live coverage of the America 250, Florida Duel 1 and Duel 2 at Daytona on 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Yes, USA, 5-1 winners over Team Latvia. And so they have the day off tomorrow. They will play Saturday. Tomorrow's featured game is Canada versus Switzerland. So we'll see if the captain, Roman Josi, can crank it up for his home country and pull a big upset tomorrow. Canada winning earlier today, 5-0 over Czechia, and Roman and the Swiss team beat France 4-0. All right, so we've thrown it down on Albert Breer and Connor Orr speculating when Nashville hosts the Super Bowl. Can they host it? Will it be a problem with the traffic? Yes, we don't have the infrastructure. We're growing so fast. We know all that. How much of an issue will it be when we actually host the Super Bowl? Because we're going to be bigger then. We know what's the average number of people that move to town every day. Everybody always talks 80 people a day or something. Are we still at that rate?
Has it gone up? Has it gone down?
There's still cranes all over the place.
I know there's cranes.
I don't know what the latest is on that, but let's just say we're going to be bigger than we are now. And Albert Breer wants to know, is there really a difference between a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich and a true Nashville hot chicken sandwich? Is it overrated? Here we got a lot of people on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com weighing in. Texter says, hot chicken was cool when I moved here in 2004. And it was only Prince's in North Nashville in their no-nonsense, gritty storefront. Now it's been copied too much, and it's lost its character.
Diluted.
So, yes, it's overrated, he says.
Well, I mean, hey, I guess that's one opinion.
That's one opinion?
Yes, one opinion. Some people say it's watered down. You know, we got one person that said it's been diluted. It's been spread amongst the other stores.
Takes from Wes. Nashville stole Nashville hot from Memphis.
Oh.
Memphis is known for hot chicken, not Nashville. LOL.
Okay. Hey, I'm not saying it.
Listen.
Somebody else said it.
Listen, again,
Memphis
as
rep?
a fellow Memphian here,
Is there truth to that?
There might be a little truth to it. I'm not going to sit here and say yay or nay. All I know is we got great food down in Memphis. If you ever get a chance, get some great food.
Okay. All right. Very diplomatic on your part. Matthew from Jolton says, Prince's mild will light you up. We were talking about, do you really want to tear up your insides? Is it that good of a sandwich that you are okay in letting your stomach boil a little bit after it's over? All right, let's check in with Bruce and Dixon on our phone line. Bruce, welcome to the show. Set the record straight here.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. That chicken is trash. You need to throw it in the trash can, throw it in the garbage. Now, if you want some hot, don't get some regular fried chicken. You got Louisiana, you got Tabasco. There's no reason to be eating something to have your stomach messed up all night.
Yeah.
So you're with the crew of it is overrated.
It's definitely overrated.
Are you a Nashville native?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well.
Tennessee native. 39 years, Middle Tennessee.
Well, Bruce knows.
Bruce is coming in with a strong take right here.
He knows.
So you said Louisiana style is the way to go.
He said put a little Louisiana hot.
Tabasco and Louisiana.
Tabasco.
So that's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need.
He said it's not worth it to go the next level where you just tear up your stomach. Okay.
Yes.
737-1025. We have a take from Hair Metal Henry, who likes to weigh in. Wendy's spicy chicken is for wimps.
Hey, Hair Metal said it, not me.
And Joey from Bellevue adds on the Super Bowl front, if Jacksonville can host a Super Bowl, Nashville can host a Super Bowl.
I'm not saying they can't host a Super Bowl, but really, who wants to go to Jacksonville? And I'm not saying that the people of Jacksonville, they're probably great people, but there's nothing in Jacksonville. Nothing. So
it's very spread out.
Exactly. Nobody wants to go. They had a hard time Contrast that to Nashville, where everybody wants to come every weekend. You're talking about bachelorette parties, trolleys going on, whatever those things are, going up and down the street. It's gonna be a madhouse, man. Truly a madhouse.
We want the madhouse. This is good.
I really don't. Do you want it? Because it will filter into your neck of the woods.
I'll be right there.
More so in mine.
Yeah, I can deal with it. I mean, we got the Super Bowl. I'm okay with it.
You say it now.
I say that now. 615-737-1025. I will be older by the time. I
Yes,
I
exactly.
could get to that curmudgeon level. Hopefully not.
Get off my lawn.
Yes. Old guy yells at cloud. Is that what they say? All right, let's go to Quinn on our phone line. Quinn, what do you got on the hot chicken?
Man, it's trash. It's pitiful. It's despicable. It's tasteful. Any negative connotation you can give to it, give it. Because I don't understand the point of it. All it is some seasoning. And if you want to make it hotter, they just throw more seasoning. How is that good? I don't know what's wrong with them, but get rid of it. I don't know.
Well, there we go.
We're putting the truth out here.
Yeah, we're trying to get
Does
it
somebody
out.
want to take the other side and stick up for the hot chicken? I feel like everybody's agreeing with these guys, these outsiders from Nashville.
What? Yeah, but they're Nashvillians. These people were born in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah,
and, you know,
they're
so
agreeing with the outsiders.
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised.
Chicken isn't.
I guess it's that.
All,
but I remember the whole
hot.
thing. Like when I first started, seeing it more in the mainstream, and people were talking about it, was like, oh, you got to get the oven just right, 400 degrees, and if you do it that way, that's what they seem to think that part of it is a little bit overrated.
Could be.
Is that true?
I'm not.
It just has to be prepared correctly to get the flavor and not tear up your insides?
I don't think you can properly get it to be that hot without it not tearing up your stomach.
True. I think that's fair.
I think it's all or nothing.
This text comes from Pegram's Finest. Prince's is good, but 400 degrees will change your bloodline. What does that mean?
That means if it's that hot,
what?
It's gonna do some damage. That's what they're basically saying.
That doesn't sound like I want that.
Yeah, so you
change my bloodline.
So you say we shouldn't eat those
exactly.
hot chicken.
So everyone is, at least from what the text we've read, the callers, they say Nashville hot chicken is overrated. How about the Super Bowl? Do you believe that this city, we know we can, host the Super Bowl, but do you think from an infrastructure standpoint, traffic, all this stuff that's going to come with it, do you think it will be one of those deals where, I'm glad they're gone afterwards?
Most people on our text line, we got a lot of people. I hope we can get to everybody, but we may not. They seem to be okay with it, although they say, look, we got a lot of Uber drivers. I get that.
Yes.
One gentleman said, I work downtown. It already takes me too long to get home, so he's not looking forward to that part of it. We have this one. I love hot stuff more than most people, but it has no flavor. It's just spice. Josh from Louisville, but in Nashville for 4 years. So Josh says overrated.
Another person that says overrated.
All right. Let's go to Nate. Nate wants to take up for the hot chicken. I need to hear the argument here because, like I said, I've had hot chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going for the super hot. I have no interest in that, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's overrated, but I'm curious. So Nate, give me the argument for hot chicken.
So I live in Clarksville, and every time I make a trip to Nashville, I make a point to make sure I get Nashville hot chicken.
Okay.
Because I love the flavor and I love the heat.
Okay, so what's the key to the right mix of the heat, the flavor, etc.?
It's got to be hotter.
Oh, hotter the better.
Yes, hotter the better.
Oh God, my
hot in terms of the oven, or the hot in terms of the level of the spice.
No, the hot is in terms of the level of the heat.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So how spicy it is.
Oh, how spicy it is. Whew. Man.
So you like it just frying your... Do you start sweating after you eat it?
Yes.
And you're okay with that?
That means it's good.
See, this is tying into our first hour thing about personal hygiene. So he might have to shower before he goes to the game that night after having the hot chicken.
After you eat hot chicken, you need to go shower.
The hotter the better.
The hotter the better.
That means it's the greatest one.
So are you... I don't think we got it. Are you a Nashville native?
So I've lived in Clarksville since 2013.
Okay.
Right. That counts.
That does count.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Good stuff. All right. So Nate is represented. Drew in Columbia says, I'm just glad for free tenders from Hattie B's when the Predators score hat tricks. Hot or not, they're free.
Hey, I'll blame it. If it's free, it's for me.
Yeah. I'll take 3. That's what you need for a hat trick anyway. All right. Let's go for Bill. Next up, let's see what Bill has to say on this. Hey, Bill.
Oh, yeah. It's I love hot chicken. I'm a Tennessean. I'm born here and everything. But there used to be a place called Dickey's up in Hendersonville that had hot chicken on Friday, and it was the best ever. But the place is closed down now. But it was the flavor of it. It was hot, but it was the flavor is what was so good, and they packed the place every Friday. It was like a meet and three, and but on Fridays it was packed.
Do you think it's become too big, like too commercialized?
Well, I think just everybody says, well, it's Nashville hot chicken. Prince's is great hot chicken if you get mild. I can't go the hot, but I like Hattie B's, and but it's the flavor. I mean, if they just make it hot just to be hot, and that's not really that's not really a flavor. You can just throw hot sauce on it if you want to just ruin your stomach. So, but yeah, Dickey's up in Hendersonville. It was a great place, and they did have cold beer. So,
balances out the sweat problem.
Ain't nothing like a cold beer with some hot chicken.
Bill, thanks for calling. Good stuff. Another texter says the Nashville hot honey is where it's at. I have seen that. You
hot honey chicken. I mean,
I would prefer that flavor. Yeah.
I had hot honey pizza.
Hot honey pizza?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They had
on chicken on the pizza, or
chicken,
just hot honey,
and then honey, the spicy honey on top of it, or is it just the regular honey? But at a pizza place in the Nations, I don't want to give out them free pub, but a pizza place in the Nations, it's pretty good actually.
All right,
that's not hot like a hot piece of chicken though.
We've got to take on your quest for can Nashville handle the Super Bowl? Hey, D-Mace, I think Nashville is good for it. That damn traffic with 4th of July and New Year's Eve is a lot. The Super Bowl to me would be the same, just a big event and people on Broadway. So he says, bring it on.
But it would be, and he's right, because you talk about New Year's Eve, and what else did he say?
4th of July.
Those are like either weekend events or just day events. The Super Bowl is a whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're talking about, and then you're talking about the peak of it, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday hitting to the game. So you're talking about an influx of just people every day. Whereas 4th of July is just weekend, or New Year's Eve is just the weekend or the day. So
another texter says it is definitely too commercialized, the hot chicken thing. He says chain restaurants have hot chicken. I do notice that in other cities. I'll be, traveling with the Predators, just going to some place to get lunch, and you'll see Nashville hot chicken, and I started laughing. I'm like, wow, they have that here in San Jose or wherever we are. So it definitely has gone out as a thing. And so have we lost something here? I think that's a fair question there. And also had the hot honey sandwich as well. Okay. All right. PSA, this will be the final text, and then we'll move on. I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody. This has really got a lot of attention. PSA, don't have hot chicken for lunch and crystals for dinner. That's a bad combo.
You think?
Yeah, that sounds like college dinner right there.
You think?
Captain Obvious. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
They don't eat hot chicken or crystals for
if you want
same
to be in the restroom all day, then that combination will work well.
Hope you got some free time.
If you're trying to loosen yourself up,
okay.
Just go ahead.
You want to make the pants feel a little better? You can do that.
We're ending on something we all agree on. All right, when we come back, we'll move into our 5 o'clock hour. We have some interesting takes on a panel that The Athletic did with executives and coaches on the fit for the new coaches. There's so many of them. There's 10. So there was a vote on who was the best fit for the team. And so we'll tell you where Robert Saleh figured in that coming up next here on our show. This is DVD on 102.5 The Game. D-Mace, Vingen, and Donick on this Thursday afternoon. Adam Vingen is off today. Willie Donick, Derek Mason here with you. David James behind the glass. And we are continuing on. And we are coming at you from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We mentioned this in the last hour. There's a lot of turnover in NFL coaches, 10 new head coaches. So what The Athletic did, they asked a panel of 9 coaches and executives. Now, that's a little bit of a small sample size to me, so I took note of that. But I always like to hear perspective from the outside of coaches, executives, and I'd like to hear what they have to say. And I like that The Athletic does a lot of panels like this. And they asked these guys to rank their top 5 head coaching hires of the cycle. So coaches got 5 points for a first place vote. In other words, best coach, best fit. 4 points for second, 3 points. They went all the way to 5 spots. So voters are not employed by any of the 10 teams. They had 9 voters, all representing teams that didn't make a coaching hire. So not surprisingly, John Harbaugh far and away won the poll. He got 6 of the 9 first place votes. So we won't spend a lot of time on that. But I was a little bit surprised that Robert Saleh came in a tie for 6th. He had 7 points on this poll. He had 3 ballots out of the 9. He got a 3rd place vote and 2 4th place votes. Are you surprised?
Wow. I'm just looking
at it. A little lower than I would have thought.
Yeah. But I don't, it's like
Mike LaFleur and Todd Monken got 0 points, by the way.
But Clint
did not get a vote.
He hasn't been a head coach. So he sort of gets the benefit of the doubt. He gets the sort of new head coach bump or point, I think, because you haven't seen him.
You have no track record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have no track. You just know that he's a good play caller.
Yeah. So Saleh was tied with Kubiak.
So you look at, Jeff Hafley. He hasn't been a head coach. It's like you were someplace where the offense ran well, your defense is pretty good. Now they're making you a head coach. So now it's like the unknown. But when you look at Saleh, we've seen you do it. We know you have a great defensive mind and philosophy, but as a head coach, we saw you not do so well. So if you combine the two, I think that's why he ends up behind these other guys who haven't had head coaching experience.
Yeah. So here's how the voting went. Harbaugh, by far, first place. A distant second, Kevin Stefanski, who got 1 first place vote for the Falcons, finished second. 3rd place, Jesse Minter. Now that surprised me a little bit. 1 first place vote, 24 points. And they think it's a really good fit for whatever reason. Why do you think it's a good fit?
I think it boils down to him coming from a culture of winning. Because Mike McDonald, Jesse Minter, these guys were part, I think, of the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff with John Harbaugh.
Yep, he was there.
And
then he went to Michigan with Jim Harbaugh.
Exactly. They won there.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a track record of being on or with or underneath winning coaches and coaches that have won Super Bowls and national championships. So again, you get that. He gets the 2 bumps. He gets the new coach bump and he gets the association bump.
Yeah. The continuity seems to be a theme of why he finished so strong. Mm-hmm. He finished ahead of Mike McCarthy, who was 4th for the Steelers. He had 13 points. He did not get a first place vote. Jeff Hafley was 5th, and then the tie for 6th, we mentioned Kubiak, and then Saleh. Now, here is the take on Saleh. There are real concerns about the power structure with ownership in Tennessee. The recent stretch of turnover at coach and GM has only amplified the skepticism. Here's the quote from one of the 9 voters. I thought they were going offense because of the QB. Saleh is confident and organized. He's going to put together a decent staff, but is the personnel side set up in a way for the head coach and pieces to have success? And will they have time to do it? Do you think that's a fair assessment? Or the fact that it's almost like that guy weighed in before he knew that Daboll was going to be the offensive coordinator? Or is he concerned that they'll lose Daboll soon?
But I don't think that I don't think that has a lot to do necessarily with Daboll, because he said, the way, the personnel is set up, their personnel, they're a team that needs a lot of talent. They need a lot of younger guys to come in and be developed. They need to slowly put this roster together, preferably through the draft, and they sort of reap the rewards off of that. So I think that's whether they had Daboll or not, the roster is the roster. And is this roster set up to win immediately? It all depends on how you define win immediately. Because if you're talking, going from, last team in the division to, a playoff team, I'm not sure. I'm not saying they can't, but that's going to be a tall task. Everything needs to hit the right way, and it can. But if you're talking about this team improving upon what they did last year, 7-8 wins, yeah, I think that could happen. But it's this roster has holes everywhere. And whether it was John Harbaugh, Stefanski, or you could have thrown Mike McCarthy in there, I think this team still would have is going to take a minute for it to really get to where they want to get. And I think they're going to have to show patience with him.
They are going to have to show patience. And so that's where I don't think I'm confused, but I guess it's a typical take from afar. They question the ownership at the top.
Yeah.
They're going with the old traditional, hey, if you have the young quarterback, you should take an offensive-minded head coach, which I feel like we've all said is not a necessity. I don't think that's a huge concern now, whereas that was a trendy thought a couple years ago. And then the patience part of it, I guess that's always a concern here. But, man, I look, how could you not question it with the itchy trigger finger that they've had with Vrabel, with Callahan, and before that Robinson, right? It was a rash move that seemed to be from the hip. So I guess those are fair concerns. So it's almost like this guy's looking out for Saleh and wondering about the environment he's going into. But I feel like they've already gone through the really tough times. They've had 2 really tough seasons in a row where they've hopefully bottomed out, and he's coming in on the rise and not a sinking ship, right? It's a ship that's already hit the bottom, and you're trying to bring it back up. That should help him.
Yeah, it should. And, I understand why the first apprehension was ownership,
Yeah.
what they've, done within the last 3 years on how they've played musical chairs, excuse me, with their GM, with their head coaches, offensive coordinator, stuff like that. I get that part. So you're looking at it based upon that. But I think by them, even though it was already in place, but I think by them coming out and giving true definitions and true titles, and this is what this guy, in the true sense of GM, this is going to be our guy, constructing the team and everything else. I think now, if you have faith in Berganzi, then you do believe he will get this roster turned around. It may take a few years, but this wouldn't be at the top of my list of the things that I'm concerned about. Right now, I'm not concerned that Amy's going to have a quick hook on Berganzi or Saleh. I think I'm more concerned about how they're going to continue to build this roster and develop this roster.
It's all going to come down to that. I think I never thought they were losing big because they were just so poorly coached. They may not have had the best coaching staff But even with Brian Callahan and his flaws, they weren't losing because of him. They
were a bad
didn't
team.
have the roster. They didn't have enough players to really make a dent. And this is where timing is important. This is why I probably would have put Saleh up a little higher on a vote had I voted on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when Callahan took over, that was a sinking ship. You could see it might have to get worse before it gets better, unless Will Levis is way better than people thought.
But that's not what they sold everybody.
That was part of the problem.
Yes.
They were not willing to admit, hey, this is the changing of the guard. We're going to have to reset some things. We don't know how it's going to go. They were thinking, hey, we'll just plug Will Levis in there. He's really good, and we'll be good. And that was not even close to being the case. And then they scrapped that. They went with Cam Ward, all of that. And that was another signal that it was not going to be easy this past year. So Callahan inherited all of that. Saleh comes in after Callahan. That's advantageous, right? And they've already gone through some of the, like fixing the offensive line that was completely broken. And it's not great, but it's at least adequate and hopefully potentially better. So that's a huge thing that he comes in not having to fix right away.
Yeah.
He's got other areas he can focus on. There's still a lot, but there's less holes than before, right?
Yeah,
and
he's coming in as, to whereas Brian didn't come in. He's coming in with, a quarterback that they truly believe in. I'm not sure how many people truly believed in Will Levis. I'm not going to say the coaching staff didn't, but I think that the perception, I think, going into this season as opposed to when Will Levis was coming in as his second year as a starter, I think it was a little bit different. I believe they have a sort of a head start on, some guys that on defense, whether it's obviously Jeffrey Simmons, Tavondre Sweat, Cedric Gray, guys like that are up front, some guys in the back end. They have some guys that have played some good football, established themselves, and they need to develop this year, absolutely. But the future with those particular players seem a little bit brighter than what they did coming into last season, like this year, coming into this season. It didn't seem so bright because it was all unknown. We didn't know Jim DK or Alec would play the way that Gunnar Ham would play the way he played. We didn't know all that. Now we know that these guys can be key contributors, not necessarily frontline guys yet, but they can be key contributors. So now you feel better coming into the season. You feel you got your quarterback, and I know people are still sort of, there's a question mark over him and still a little bit apprehensive, but you got a guy that got basically through 17 games and a quarter, 16 games and one quarter of the 17th. Again, you had the three rookies that did really good. You had Chig Okonkwo that, developed and upped his stock. And if you bring him back, so I think the cupboard looks a little different. Not to say that it's stocked, but it looks better than it did coming into this season.
They have some of the foundation built. Now, here's the last one I want to hit on. Finishing 8th. This is a weird one. Joe Brady, he got one first-place vote, and they got one fifth-place vote. He was left off all of the other ballots. But that, to me, is going to be a huge story next year, is the Bills' decision to move on and hire him. Simply, it looks like it's for one reason only. They think that that's the guy that Josh Allen wanted. He's never been a head coach. His stock has been really high. A few years ago, you thought when he was with LSU that he was going to be the next big thing. And then he went to Carolina, and he was the offensive coordinator there. That didn't go very well. And now here he is, the head coach of the Bills. So expectations are going to be high, right? For him to win right away. So that's an intriguing one. He finished below Saleh in this.
It's I guess it's like the old adage, you never want to be the guy after the guy.
Right.
And you never want to be you didn't want to be the guy after Marv Levy. Because even though Bum Phillips was there, he went to a playoffs, they never recaptured that winning mojo like they had with
Wade
Marv Levy.
Phillips.
Exactly. Yeah, Wade Phillips. They didn't catch that mojo that they had with Marv Levy. And frankly, they really didn't catch it until they hired Sean McDermott. And he slowly got that team to being, a perennial contender with Josh Allen at quarterback.
Yeah, and that was a
now
long time
Brady
before they
has
got
to come
that.
in. Yeah, he has to come in, and it's like almost like, man, unless you take this team to a Super Bowl, you're gonna fail because Sean McDermott got them to the AFC Championship game. So if you don't get past that to the Super Bowl, then it's a failure, at least to Bill fans. So, I mean, I can understand why, he's eighth, not necessarily because they don't have the talent, but because, you have to get them to the Super Bowl. You have to.
Yeah, I think that's one to watch for sure. The Titans, the concerns there, I thought that was an interesting angle on Saleh. That's why we shared it. When we come back, we'll switch gears. We'll take some phone calls. We'll get back to your texts as well. 615-737-1025. We'll recap what has happened in the Olympics today, and we will move forward with our next topic. 615-737-1025. You're listening to DVD here on 1025 The Game.
Hey, this is Derek Mason. You heard me tell you about Dr. Lodge and his staff over at Cool Springs MD for some time. If you set out to lose weight, chances are it's not your first time setting a goal to shed some extra pounds only to face disappointment. But I got some good news because at Cool Springs MD, Dr. Lodge and his team understands this frustration of this cycle, and they offer you a different approach to weight loss. Their comprehensive weight loss program is led by Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and addresses the root cause of weight gain with tailored nutrition, exercise, blood test supplements, and more. They will customize a program specific to you and you only. So connect with Dr. Lodge at CoolSpringsMD.com today to schedule your appointment for a personalized weight loss plan just for you. That's Cool Springs MD, where your weight loss journey becomes a success story.
We're back here on DVD. Big night of sports coming up. The Vanderbilt women are in action against number 5 Texas. Belmont's got a big home game tonight. Belmont's having a great year on the men's side. Looking forward to seeing how they do in the postseason. They are hoping to pull off maybe a regular season title. Got to win the tournament to get in there. That's life in the Missouri Valley, but looking forward to that. So they are over at the Curb Center tonight. Speaking of hoops, I want to give a quick shout out, and thank you for reminding me of this, David, because I just saw this myself earlier today, and I sent a text to my good friend and former teammate Ronnie McMahon, who has been elected to the Vanderbilt Sports Hall of Fame.
Congrats.
The election will be, or the induction will be next week. But those of you, this has been a public story.
Did you play with him?
I did.
Okay.
I did. In fact, he was a freshman. I was a junior.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, I lost some playing time because Ronnie was too good. He passed me up when I was a junior. I had an advantage early in the season, a little bit older, a little more experienced. And of course, he ended up being one of the great players there, scored a ton of points. Great player. Played professionally overseas for a long, long time. Now is an assistant coach, and he's been at Montgomery Bell Academy for a long time with another teammate of mine and good friend Kevin Anglin. They've built a great program over there. But Ronnie has had an issue with his kidney for a while, and he has been looking for a donor. The process has been going on for several months, and he just announced that they found the match. Congrats. They found the donor, so that is great news for Ronnie. So I exchanged texts with him, so I am so glad that worked out well. So good things are happening for Ronnie.
Absolutely.
So I think it's in June he's going to have the surgery, and next week the induction to the Hall of Fame.
Induction and get a new jacket. Do they get jackets? Do y'all give out jackets at
Vandy? I went for Billy McCaffrey's a couple years ago for the induction, and they did not give out a blazer or anything like that night. So I don't know what you get for that.
Well, he gets a new medal and a new kidney.
Yeah. So good things are happening.
Great, man. That is wonderful.
Another piece of info that we saw and this is something that Adam, I always think of this when the name Mike McCoy comes up. What was Adam's thing about Mike McCoy? The substitute teacher. He's the substitute teacher guy.
Which in fact he was.
Well, he kind of does give off those vibes for sure, but he's got another job.
Yeah.
So Brian Callahan recently got a job. He's with the Giants now. And so the Raiders are going to hire Mike McCoy as the assistant head coach under young Clint Kubiak. So Mike McCoy he's got a gig. He's still in the league.
Yeah, Mike McCoy, fortunately enough for him, he didn't damage his whatever reputation he has as head coach by coaching this Tennessee Titan team. I don't think he had anything to lose. I think he had more to gain if he got this team, to resemble, more so of a winning team than what they did under Brian Callahan. But, I mean, Cam looked better. The offensive line looked better, but they still was a bad team. But I think, McCoy will bring good qualities to, didn't do well here, but maybe he goes to the Raiders, Vegas, and he excels there and get an opportunity to be a head coach.
I wonder. I'm not enough of an expert to know whether he did a great job, a good job, an okay job in the situation he was dealt. Right? It's always tough to take over a team that's going nowhere, and you have really no shot to be the next guy anyway. So I think he did a professional job.
Yes.
Right? We would say that about what he did here. When people look back on this year, will they even remember that he was the guy for a while? Like, oh, Mike McCoy. Oh, that's right. That's the guy when they fired Callahan.
Because they're not going to remember Callahan.
they might remember him for the wrong thing. Like the whole thing about, didn't challenge the play.
Yeah, they maybe remember that.
They might remember that.
But I'm sure Callahan will want them to forget all that.
That's right. So Callahan's hoping to get another crack at it down the road, too. So a lot of the former assistants, it is always crazy, right? Like Todd Downing was on the staff for these guys. The names emerge. You stay in the league, and you never know who is going to come out there. I go back to the example of Matt LaFleur. When the Packers hired him to be the head coach, he wasn't coming off of a huge year with the Titans, but he's certainly done a heck of a job for Green Bay.
Yeah, he has. I think people always looked at him as a innovative person when it comes to offenses, and he got with the right quarterback and in the right organization, and look what they're at now. I know they would like to be a little bit further, but they're a playoff team.
So we'll see how McCoy does alongside of young Clint Kubiak, who is another guy that was a hot name, but the Titans, of course, made the choice well before. Like the Raiders had to wait for him. It was funny after the Super Bowl. You know, sometimes the reporter, you're hesitant to ask the question, or you sort of ask the obligatory question, expecting the coach to say, "Well, I just want to celebrate this win with the Seahawks." So the reporter said, "I don't know if you want to answer this, get into this right now, but is it true that you're going to go to the Raiders?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to the Raiders."
Yeah. And I'll be there after
the
this.
reporter was surprised. Like, oh, okay. I got this. I got the scoop. Like everybody already knew. Like it was widely reported. But she was like, maybe he doesn't want to talk about it. And all of a sudden he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to the Raiders. It's no secret.
Hey,
I'm going there.
I'm gonna enjoy this, but I got another job that I must attend after this Super Bowl festivities."
Yeah. Because, sometimes there was one time where Roy Williams was the coach at Kansas, and it was pretty well known. He turned it down once, but he was going to go back to North Carolina, and they lost in the finals. I think Kansas did, if I've got this right. And the reporter asked him, and he said, "I don't give a bleep about North Carolina right now." I mean, Roy Williams is not a guy like Bobby Knight who would throw out profanity and everything, but he was so mad that they asked him that question. And he said it. He said the F-bomb on national TV. Like, that was the opposite of Clint Kubiak. "Yeah, I'm going. I'm going to the Raiders."
Heck no, I ain't worried about
Roy Williams,
but he did win them a championship.
Why did you ask me that question? Oh, man.
The difference is between winning a Super Bowl and losing that
right. I guess you're in a little bit better mood when you're winning.
Better.
Yeah, when you won. All right, let's get to, is it Mike? Mike from Old Hickory is on the line. We got a caller here, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Mike, welcome to the show.
How you doing, guys?
Doing good, Mike.
I just want to ask basically a technical and a legal question.
Oh, well, Derek and I are very high in the legal angle here. You've called the right place. We have no legal training whatsoever, but we'll try.
And I'm serious about this because we have, we've got these high school, we had college, and then we went through the portal transfer and NIL. Okay, now if a high school senior is graduated and he's a great quarterback, linebacker, whatever, he's high school, graduating, he says he wants to play for the Tennessee Titans. Does he have to go through college first, or can he say, "I don't want to go to college. I want to walk on the Tennessee Titan campus and then let myself be, looked at." So, in other words, high school now is where we're going, because we had high school players, which there's now thousands of high schools, which means scouts are going to be able to cherry pick thousands more players over college. My legal question is, can a senior who's graduated, has a great record, says, "I want to play for the Tennessee Titans," and the NFL says, "No, you can't," or he says, "I'm a walk-on because I'm not going to play in college"? What's the legal question? What's the Tennessee Titans view? What's the NFL view of, what? If these players can go anywhere they want in the college now, why can't they do it from seniors graduating from high school?
Gotcha. All right, Mike, it's an interesting question. So basically what he's asking is could there be a Kobe Bryant who is that gifted? Like, we know it happens in hockey occasionally. It happens in basketball occasionally. Now, of course, they have now the one and done, which still is technically intact, right? You can't go right out of high school anymore to the NBA, I don't believe.
No,
right?
you can't. You have
have
to
to
play
spend a
1
year.
year.
There's got to be
college.
1 year in between.
Yeah.
So basically, the NFL and the collective bargaining is you have to spend 3 years.
Yeah, you would have to have been out of high school for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been challenged, not by a high school senior.
It was
because
challenged by Maurice Claret.
Yes.
At least the last person that truly
Maurice
pushed it and
Claret was
challenged
one,
it, yeah.
and I feel like Mike Williams, who ended up on the Titans at some point, but Mike Williams from USC tried it as well after 1 year. And they were pretty much turned back, right? They were turned away.
Yes. It's because listen,
and legally, I guess the NFL had it.
Yeah,
set.
but that's in their bylaws. You have to be out of high school for at least 3 years before you're eligible for the NFL draft. And Maurice Claret tried to petition it, and it didn't go too well for him. At least I don't think that was after he was trying to petition after his freshman year, I believe.
Yeah, at Ohio State.
At Ohio State.
After winning
so
the
then he
national
had to didn't he have to sit out a year or something happened where
it didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
He had issues off the field.
Some
that
issues,
cost him.
some stuff, but he's since changed his life and everything else. But he was the last person that I remember that tried to challenge the high school It wasn't even a high school, but it was the closest that we have seen a guy coming out after his freshman year and wanting to play. The problem with coming out as a college student, as a high school student and wanting to jump into the professional ranks, it's just let's just say from a physical standpoint. You may be 6'4", you may be 210 or 220, but you're just not ready. You're just not.
That usually makes it easier for the NFL to do this because they're just not practically ready.
Exactly. You can look big and look strong in high school. That's in high school. You're not, because these same guys that are, all Americans in high school, it takes them a minute to adjust in college. They got to go through that's why some of these kids are going, graduating early from high school and able to get that spring ball in them so they can get the weightlifting in. And so they can, their bodies can start to mature, at least a semester early. But coming straight out of high school, it's just from a physical standpoint, I think it would be almost impossible. Then from a mental standpoint, it would be impossible.
I mean, think about Quinn Ewers. Like, he was one of the highest rated quarterbacks or high school football players in his class, and he didn't play his senior year, went straight to Ohio State, and now he just got drafted in the 7th round and is could be potentially a journeyman type of quarterback. And I mean, think about if he would have done that, where would he be? I mean, again, he wouldn't be able to do it.
This is another issue that the league has. Even if they wanted to have the best players come out of high school, they have no minor league system to where, so you have to be ready to help a team at age 18 or 19.
College is minor league.
Yes, and it's hard enough to jump on a college team these days at 18 or 19. It does happen, but it's increasingly rare with the players becoming a little bit older, and now teams are preferring older rosters, kind of like Indiana just proved. So there's a lot of reasons why nobody even tries it in the NFL. But Claret, it's interesting. I pulled it up. He did get an initial win from a judge who ruled in favor of Claret, and they said, that's an illegal restraint of trade. But then it was overturned on appeal by the NFL, and they argued that the rule was part of its collective bargaining agreement with the NFLPA, and so that has kept this a non-topic. Claret never played an NFL game.
No.
Never played.
Really?
He played he was in a preseason.
Yeah, he got drafted by the Broncos. Never played in a regular season game.
That's crazy. I thought he would play once.
And I don't think the NFL, at least, based upon what I know and being a part of it at one point, the PA, I don't think they would ever go for that rule of allowing, because they know how taxing it is mentally and physically for basically a kid. You see how our majority of these kids, when they used to go from high school to the NBA, they struggle mightily. Yeah. Now, there was the Kevin Garnett's and the Kobe Bryant's and a few others, but the majority of these kids come and they failed, or they, just sort of,
the team would have to
end of the bench, and then it had to develop it for 3 years, and then
Yeah.
You
And
know,
now the
give-
G League gives you somewhere to put these guys,
Exactly.
but they just assume you have you just go to college. And,
Yeah,
and-
just go
and
to
play.
college. Yeah,
At least for a year
I
or
wouldn't
two.
advise anybody to try to, sort of push that NFL. And I know there will be somebody else that do it.
Yeah,
I
and the
know
caller,
there will be somebody
mentioned
else.
the word walk on.
Yeah.
Like he was like saying, let's say you're a huge NIL person, you've made money in high school, you're that much of a freak, and you can go to the team and say, I just want to play for the Titans. You don't even have to pay me. I've got my NIL people. Like that's against the league salary cap. Like you'd have to work out the salary cap part of it. There's a minimum salary. You'd have to be in the CBA, right? So you would have to comply with that. But the ironic thing is, like, you wouldn't want to do that because you could make a ton of money in NIL playing college. So just do that.
Yeah, I might as well just
it's
go to college.
It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
In other sports, you do have kids right out of high school that are at times ready to jump in
But
there.
those
it's rare.
sports that have minor leagues.
Right.
that
And
they
you
can send
have
them
a
to.
place to put them if they're not ready. Good stuff. All right. When we come back, we will have our final segment of the show, and we will look ahead to tomorrow as well. We'll tell you what's going on with the hockey today that happened and set the table for tomorrow's show. Stay tuned. This is DVD on 102.5 The Game. We're coming down the home stretch here on DVD. We'll get Adam Biggin back on board with us tomorrow. We are broadcasting with the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And don't forget, our own Big Joe will be at the Gaylord Opryland Convention Center tomorrow from 3 to 5 for the National Wild Turkey Federation Sports Show. So get your tickets now and check out the latest gear from the hottest outdoor brands. There's more than 500 exhibitors will be on site. For more information, visit nwtf.org. All right, here's what happened in the hockey today. Early this morning, Roman Josi and his team, Switzerland, able to pull off the win 4-0 over France. No big surprise there. Switzerland is a solid team. France, not a whole lot of professional talent. They're in there. They got a couple of NHL guys, maybe, but they rolled 4-0. Canada wins their game today, 5-0, impressively over Czechia, the Czech Republic. They look very strong. Canada is loaded. Down the middle, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby. Those are your top three centers. That's pretty good. And they took control. The Czechian team has some very good players. David Pastrnak, Marty Necas, names that you know. And they were no match for Canada today. So Canada flexed. And yes, they did go with Jordan Binnington, who had won, I think, one game for the Blues in the last 2 months. Like, he had really struggled. They went with him. It paid off. Will they come back with him tomorrow? I don't know, because they play Switzerland tomorrow. And so that game is, let me see, that is the 2:10 game. So when we're on tomorrow, we'll be keeping an eye on the TV. Roman Josi and Switzerland against Canada. And that is a tall order for the Swiss, but we will be watching. France will play Czechia at 9:40 tomorrow morning in Group A. The Americans won today in their opener, 5-1 over Latvia. It was 1-1 at the end of the first period, and Team USA really got it in gear in the second period. They look strong too. And I was telling D-Mace, last year in the Four Nations, keep this in mind, the USA took Canada right to the brink. They beat them once, but of course, all the fighting they did, Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk both got hurt. They were trying to tough it out, and I'm trying to remember. I think one of them didn't even play in the second game for all the marbles against Canada, and they never had Quinn Hughes the entire time.
I think it was Matthew Tkachuk who did not play.
He didn't play, and of course he was hurt. He was playing on one leg even when Florida got to the championships in the playoffs months later. So now they're healthier, and they've added Quinn Hughes, who is about as big a difference maker as you can have outside of Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon. So Team USA is pretty stacked. They look strong today against Latvia. They don't play again until Saturday. They've got Denmark on Saturday, and then they'll end up with Germany as they play them on Sunday. They should take care of those two teams. Germany has Leon Draisaitl, Tim Stützle. They've got some good players, but USA's depth should get them the number one spot out of there and get the bye into the medal round. I'd be surprised if anybody beats Canada. Here's an intriguing game tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Finland versus Sweden. Huge rivalry. It's at 5:10 a.m., so if you're an early riser, you can watch. But I think we're all wondering, A, is Philip Forsberg going to play tomorrow in the regular rotation? He did play 1 minute and 7 seconds yesterday. He was the 13th guy. They didn't rotate him in. They beat Italy. But everybody was kind of wondering why they didn't play him, so let's see about that. And then, does Finland start UC Saros tomorrow, or do they come back with Kevin Lankinen, a former Predator, currently on Vancouver, after they lost? They got upset by Slovakia yesterday. So we will find out. Will I be getting up at 5:10, Derek, to watch the opening face-off?
Probably not.
No, I will not. Will I get up in time to catch the end of the game? That is to be determined. To be determined. I'm curious. I want to see the guys. I want to see Juice. I want to see Phil. But that with that early wake-up call, I don't know.
Man, just put the alarm on, Grab you a cup of coffee and watch the game, man.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know tomorrow. You can text me in the morning and say, did you get up and watch? Did you get up and watch? I don't know if they have like an on demand where I can run it back without knowing.
Maybe
That's what some of the Europeans on the Predators, their parents tell us they watch the games, but they don't watch it live because it's in the middle of the night. So they get up as early as they can stand it. Roman Yossi's dad's told the story. He goes, I get up. I don't want anybody to tell me what happened. I'm not looking at my phone. Nobody better call me and say, hey, did you see what Roman did last night? He wants to just act like it's live when he wakes up with the morning coffee. So maybe I'll try to pull that stunt tomorrow on my own time.
But you got to notice.
I got to not check the phone.
Yeah, you got to know in the morning, do not look at your phone.
Yeah, and so nobody call me and say, hey, did you see Soros? Did you see what happened? Adam might be my spoiler. Yeah, so we'll see.
You got to send Adam a text. Do not text me in the morning about the game.
Yeah,
don't spoil.
I am curious because all the games are in the morning and the afternoon, right? The last game is the game that comes on for our show. How many people will be watching day in and day out as the tournament unfolds? Because I do think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially with USA and Canada. If they can get on collision course and play another big game, that is going to be a great sporting event. The problem is it's not going to be in prime time like it was for the Four Nations, where you're playing in Boston, or you're playing in Toronto, or wherever they played those games. But it was a big stage and a great audience. It's hard to recreate that when the game's at 2:00 Central Time or 3:00 Eastern Time.
Yeah. Not too many people are going to be watching it, I guess, would they?
Well, I think everybody who can watch will, but it just won't be the same as if you can all get your popcorn and get everybody gathered at your local watering hole, or you're having a little watch party.
I mean, it's not what is it on Peacock, you said?
Well, it'll be on, and I would guess the medal round will probably be more on NBC, right?
It should be
live.
I'm sure they wouldn't put that on Peacock.
USA would be the other. It would be on USA. It's everything's on Peacock. This is what I'm learning, because now that I got suckered.
Yeah,
I bought the package.
They got you.
They got me.
They got you.
You go on there and you can watch any event. It's pretty interesting. I mean, if you like all that stuff, like you want the speed skating, they got speed skating. You want the curling, you got curling. You're not just flipping it on and whatever they have on at the time, that's what you go with.
Exactly.
So, are you watching a lot? Do you find yourself watching?
No, I haven't. And I can't say I've watched some of the boarding, the ski board. What do they call it?
The luge?
No, not the luge. I have watched some of that.
The snowboarding.
Yeah, snowboarding. Watch some of the snowboarding. Watch some of the, when you jump off the rapid skis. I forget what all that stuff. Watch some of that.
Ski jumping.
Yeah. Outside of that,
I can always have it on.
I may have sort of like stumbled into ice skating.
The figure skating?
Yeah, figure skating, and watched that a little bit. But I haven't been intent on okay, I'm gonna watch this.
So you're not getting like the quad box like you did a couple of summers ago.
No, you got the quad box.
You got more into the Summer Olympics.
Yeah, I'm more of a Summer Olympics person, because it's like I love track and field. So whether it's track and field or some, volleyball, or what do they got? Sand volleyball and gymnasts.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. I'll gravitate more toward that. But it hasn't been. Do you think they've, and maybe I'm just basing it on the Summer Olympics, do you think there has been this big push, like for the Winter Olympics, like they've hyped it up?
I feel like they have. It's just different than the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
I've always liked the Winter Olympics. I can always have it on. There's some events. There's more events in the Winter Olympics that the Americans just have no business. It's like the biathlon or whatever the cross country skiing. We always get smoked in that. We'd never have anybody.
I did like the one where you shoot the skis and you shoot the target.
I love speed skating.
I do love the speed skating. That, and we do have a really good team for that. Those are worth watching for sure. I like it's like your track and field. I like the speed skating.
Okay.
I'm not into the short track, the team thing. Can you imagine? You work for 4 years to get that, and somebody just takes you out like that. When you have all these, it's chaos. It's actually fun to watch, but it's so nerve-wracking because you're like, you could be the best team, but somebody wipes out, takes you out, and your whole team is screwed. The straight up speed skating, the individual is just one-on-one. They did have a race the other day where you have to crisscross because you have inside lane, outside lane. Somebody got disqualified, and the guy that got interfered with got to race over. But of course, she's already like blew out his whole A game. So he couldn't go quite as fast the second they didn't have left in the tank. And so that allowed the American to win the gold. So always good stories. I like
bobsledding is interesting. The one-man sled or the two-man sled. That's interesting.
Those guys are flying.
I wonder how do they, because I'm like, how do they control it? There's nothing under there. I guess they just go based upon.
You're looking at the luge right here is what we're watching. I don't know how they do
How do
that.
they control it?
I got no idea.
Is there something like underneath, or do they control it with their leg, like their body?
I
think it's more body. I think it's more body control because there's like it's going so fast. Like, how can you? What else can you?
Yeah, it's much
use to control it. I guess.
See, that tells you I don't.
Yeah,
you know, I like watching it. I have watched it, but I don't know the techniques. You know,
and the two-man luge, I have no idea how those guys stay tight like that.
So, a little breaking news: it looks like Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss was granted a 6 year.
Oh my goodness!
They just announced.
Well,
it.
There's a topic for tomorrow.
What does that mean for Aguilar?
Separate suit, I think, but it's got to be.
And it's by a Mississippi State judge.
Oh, okay.
He granted the injunction, allowing him to play while the lawsuit. So again, the strategy is you don't necessarily win the lawsuit. You just get the injunction. And in the meantime, you can play.
You get to play.
It is so bad.
Just like
so bad. Come on.
That's the way it is. That's the way of the world, Willie.
I don't get it.
25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, they're going to be
playing college sports.
We're going to have to talk about this tomorrow. All right. We're out of time. Adam will rejoin us tomorrow. And so everybody have a great night, and we're back at you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central.
Be loved. Love on your people. Have a safe, blessed, and wonderful day. I love you. The team loves you. You hear this music. Don't you forget about us, because we will not forget about you. See you tomorrow at 3 p.m. on 102.5 The Game. Peace.